Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Wytpod. My name is Harshit, and I'm the Director of Business Alliances at Wytlabs. We're a digital agency specializing in SaaS and e-commerce SEO. And I've got Ardyce Taylor with me today. She's the VP of Integrated Marketing and Growth at Filevine, a brilliant platform for your legal work. So, big welcome to you, Ardy. So happy to have you with me.
Thanks. I'm happy to be here.
Great. Now, Adi, you have recently transitioned to VP role. What really motivated the shift, and how do you envision shaping the company's marketing strategies with this new position of yours?
Yeah. So I've always been pretty ambitious. Anytime there was the next step to take, I always wanted to figure out how to take that. So I came into Filevine as head of performance marketing and just have been taking on a broader and broader scope over the years. And till this year, where I got the opportunity to not just do performance marketing and demand, but started working with the PR teams and the creative team as well, which was really just such a different kind of scope for me. The creative team works so much differently than a performance marketing team. They're a lot more left brain, where performance marketers are right brain. So it was a shift in learning how to communicate with people who aren't stuck in spreadsheets all day and are thinking more artistically and creatively about the business and how to get those messages across. It's been great. I inherited a really high performing creative team, and they've been so nice and teaching me all the things I don't know about the art that they produce.
All right. Now, with your background, it spans several roles in performance marketing, digital advertising. How has this basically diverse experience influenced your approach to leading marketing at Filevine?
Sure. So I've always been a numbers person, and that makes me a great fit for Filevine because they're a very sales-led organization. So I get relaxed by doing the math to optimize a business. Even if the math end product makes me very worried that we're not going to hit our goals, just that exercise of putting those things into place just is a very it fits my background very well. And when you're running performance marketing, you're spending a lot of time in spreadsheets and Excel formulas, and you're getting organized in that kind of linear way. So that sort of organization forces a framework for campaign launches, product launches, and performance grading. We use project management tools and things like that, but anytime I need to organize my thoughts around a campaign, it all starts in a spreadsheet. I've been a one-person marketing team plenty of times in my life. So not only do I know how to plan, but I know how to execute on everything that goes into launching a marketing campaign. So I know where to put people and what actions to give them in order to have a successful launch or successful campaign.
All right, that's brilliant. And since you mentioned numbers, I would love to understand which KPIs do you prioritize most for your marketing efforts?
Yeah, so we split up our numbers into two different categories. We have our engine room numbers and our cockpit numbers. And that kind of changes with what your level is at the organization. So for example, for me, my cockpit numbers are the ones I'm communicating up to my CEO and my CFO. So that's going to be marketing source pipeline, the number of sales accepted leads, and it's almost like the simplest version of success. My engine room metrics are the ones I'm communicating down to my campaign managers and my channel managers. And those are the things that create those SALs. So we use MQLs and SQLs. Those are our two very top of funnel kind of metrics. So we look at that, we look at cost per lead, and then we look at everything according to what the plan was and then how we're hitting on that plan. Say I have $100,000 to spend. Am I on track to spend that this month? Am I going to go over? Am I going to go under? Maybe I need to get 500 MQLs. How are we tracking on that? It's all in a target v actual kind of way. Then from my channel managers and my campaign managers, their cockpit metrics that they're communicating up are my engine room metrics. But then the things they're looking at to optimize for those cockpit metrics are going to be cost per lead by channel or by actual campaign and the lead volume they're getting from those campaigns.
Makes sense. And what's your go-to analytics and reporting platform?
So we use a variety of things. Everything's stitched together with our BI tool. We use Domo, which is a local company around here. They're local, meaning they're headquartered here. They're a global company from what I understand. But they're like a Tableau, if you've heard of them. And so what that does is it allows us to stitch together data from Google Analytics and Google Ads, really anywhere, HubSpot, anywhere that has an API connection, we can stitch that together and come up with more comprehensive reports. It's like the marriage between your marketing automation platform reporting and your CRM reporting that can all come together in Domo, which makes it a lot easier than building out all your spreadsheets by yourself.
Now, Filevine operates in extremely competitive space, right? What unique strategies do you use to differentiate the company and build strong brand presence?
Yeah, you're right. It is very competitive. I think what sets us apart is that we have so many different motions. We don't just sell case management software. We have an intake software. We have a reporting software. We have a document management software. We have an e-signature tool. We have a big conference that we get everybody, all of our customers to come to. So really what matters for us in having success across all these different products is segmentation. So for example, we'll have some comms that need to go to customers to come to the conference, but oh no, we also need to upsell them on another product. And so we spend a lot of time calendaring out these comms so people are calendaring out these comms in different audience segments so that we can be very clear and not muddy the waters and keep the message the same for any given segment for a certain period of time. So they're not getting like a conference email one day and the next a webinar email for something totally different. So that kind of organization is really important for us to be competitive on all these different kinds of products and campaign motions that we're running.
Gotcha. And Ardy, how do you integrate product marketing with your demand gen to basically create opportunities for both new as well as existing features?
Yeah. So we actually don't even have a product marketing team at Filevine. Everyone on our team is expected to come to 3 product and go-to-market meetings a week so that they can become the product expert for marketing purposes. They're not going to be sitting on support calls, but they can definitely write ads and emails to sell those products. So we have a big meeting on Mondays to go through everything the engineering team is building. And then midweek, we have a meeting with product managers to get a little bit more in depth and be able to ask more marketing questions. And then finally, we'll have a marketing task meeting where it's just the marketing team saying, okay, we have this new product. What are my action items? What are the assets I need to create? We have this great flow that my boss, Keegan Chapman, actually built with the product team to make sure we stay current and ahead of the game. And it's super important for Filevine marketing team members to not just be marketers. They are expected to know a lot about every different aspect of the company. And that really helps us know what we're walking into, because so many of our ad hoc meetings are just like people from so many different departments and everyone speaks a different language. You've got product speaking their language. Sales speaks their language. Marketing, we have our own sets of acronyms. So having this well-rounded experience is what we strive for with our marketing team. So everyone's a product marketer is what I say, because no one is just a product marketer.
That's amazing. It's rare to see such synergy within companies. So yeah, that's awesome. Because you've been involved into overseeing your website as well. So how do you approach basically your conversion rate optimization within your website or any new innovation that happens within the site?
Sure. So we treat the website as an iterative process, like it's never done. About 18 months ago, we had a rebrand, and we're still in the process of tweaking some pages to be more in line with that brand, because we recognize we can't just do all tens of thousands of pages at once. We add a lot of business motions too. We're a very agile company. We launch a lot of different products that change maybe how our pricing structure might look or different practice areas that we're going to serve. Being able to change those things really quickly but thoughtfully is very important. In the past, I've worked with teams where it was just the design team working on the website, and that really hurts conversion rate optimization if the design team isn't thinking of that. Because if you've ever worked in any kind of advertising, you may know that like the prettiest thing isn't always going to be the most converting thing, right? Sometimes it's like really hideous things that a designer would roll over in their grave about. But over here on the performance marketing team, we're like, hey, it's working, it's getting us leads. And so there's that just a difference of opinion there. What we've actually done is we've employed a CRO agency to help us right now because, in my opinion, CRO is a full-time job. There's so many different things to be checking on. We don't have anyone dedicated to do that. But this agency, they're called Spiralize, has been doing a really great job. So they do this iterative testing process on just right now, just demo request pages, because that's like our ultimate goal on my marketing team is how many demo requests are we getting? And we've been doing it for a couple months and it's been working very well. And it's just like A/B testing and then reporting. Our bottom line metric is those demo requests. So whatever is working. And then we'll do it. We're doing a pilot for about 3 months and then we'll see where that lands us.
Okay. And Nadia, do you have any specific, say, free tools or lead magnets basically on your website that is doing some wonders for you, at least on the organic?
We don't have a lot of that. We have more like content pieces because our audience is lawyers and legal teams, and they love to read. Their work product is documents. They read a lot more than any other internet user I've met. We like to say video for everything all the time, but really for our particular market, we're creating a lot of written content. And it's more like the thought leadership kind of content. We've toyed around with doing some sort of calculators and things like that, but most of the people coming to our website are not going to be those managing partners that are interested in ROI. They're in there trying to figure out how to make case management easier for themselves. And so that's where we're educating them on, hey, this old way that you've probably been using isn't going to be as effective as if you were to employ technology and AI to help streamline your processes.
Gotcha. And you've got tons of engines running, right? You've got paid ads, you've got search engine optimization, social, right? How do you balance the allocation of budget and resources across these different channels?
Yeah, so most of our performance marketing budget is spent on PPC. I would say 90% because we are a lead gen organization. Like our job is to create sales for the revenue team. I would say though, as we mature as a business a little bit more, I would like to see it spread out to more evenly, like 30 between PPC, SEO, and PR. I think PR is getting to be more and more important, and it works hand in hand with the SEO, and you can like pay for PR too. So it all goes together, but we're still very much in the business of let's get those leads in the door, let's get them to sales. And the fastest way to do that is through PPC.
And are you doing some capacity PR or content syndication for your new feature launches and stuff?
We are. So we have an internal PR team. We target our PR that's about features mostly to industry publications. We have such a niche product that CBS News probably won't pick it up. But things like Legal Tech Publishing and Law.com and these very lawyer-specific publications will pick it up. And then I also have a few relationships where we do the pay-to-play thing with some thought leadership pieces to fill that top of funnel. There are kind of other stories we like to tell. Like we do a little bit of volunteering and we just talk about those on social. We don't make big press releases about it because the nature of the volunteering is to build community, not so much get a PR pickup, although it would be nice, but that's not the goal there. And then things like when we win awards or things like that, we'll push those out over the general wire. But for the most part, we limit it to either social or industry specific publications.
Let's talk a bit on marketing funnel and automation front. I would love to understand what process do you have in place for creating and optimizing your marketing funnels from the awareness to conversion, and also what sort of automation that you leverage.
Sure. So in my opinion, every channel has a purpose. So trying to run your entire funnel on one channel hasn't really worked for us. Like I've seen a lot of e-commerce thought leaders talk about like running the whole funnel on Facebook only, or B2B people running their entire funnel on LinkedIn. But for us, that just really hasn't worked for us because different audience members are going to be in different places. So most of our top of funnel and awareness comes from like our events team. We have a super strong awareness motion with them. Our events team is super robust and very high performing. We've also tested out connected TV with a vendor called Mountain, and they allow for really niche targeting. Not only can I target lawyers, but I can target specific practice types of lawyers, which is just, they're the only platform we've seen that will let us target practice type. And when we started using them, we noticed a 10% increase in paid search and direct traffic leads. So that was a huge win. Most of our content marketing, like middle of the funnel stuff, comes from the industry publications and paid social. This, even Google. And then we do most of our demo request things on paid search where people are super low in the funnel. They're actively looking for Filevine or case management software. We do a little bit of affiliate as well with Gartner properties. But even Google knows that you can't run your entire campaign just on paid search. That's why they have their Performance Max and their discovery campaigns, and like smart shopping is they're putting different funnel stage pieces of content everywhere and then optimizing that journey for you, which is really nice. In terms of the automation we use a lot of the actual lead gen part. There aren't a lot of automations there, but when it comes to routing those leads to our outreach team, that's where we use things like Zapier and Workato to collect all the information from our HubSpot forms, push them to the appropriate people, put them into the CRM, and enroll them in their outreach sequences.
Gotcha. All right, Ardyce, I'm going to be a little biased and talk to you about search engine optimization. Would love to understand, in your views, what are the current trends that you're seeing or the practices that you're focusing on to improve your visibility on search?
Absolutely. There's a lot of excitement every time a new algorithm update is whispered about. Oh, something's coming. Everybody run around and freak out. But I found that the basic tenets of SEO from like 10 to 15 years ago have to still be your backbone. So start with your keyword research and understand what it is you want to show up for. And from there, do the on-page optimization to make sure your site is ready to show up for that. And then build your links to those kinds of things, to those pages. We've started looking at other search engines too. There's this AI one, I can't remember the name of it, but it's very big in like Western Europe, but we have an entire team of futurists at Filevine that's telling us it's going to be the next big thing. So we better figure out how to rank there. And my SEO and web development team are very much in the weeds with child and support pages and URL structures and things like that, with enhancing credibility based on the pages pointing to the main pillar pages is what we call them, the ones we really want to rank for, and passing that authority as much as they can. And not just like the page authority, but the content authority is what we're calling it. So what the actual words on those support pages are saying and how they can support the content on the pillar page. So a lot of those kinds of like copy things. What we've been doing a lot of is marrying the function of writing for bots and then writing for humans and making that all one motion instead of, oh, we have these blogs that are really just for SEO, like keyword sprinkling, versus these blogs, which are written by a thought leader that have no SEO value at all, but putting those together in the same thing to optimize our resources and only write the same thing once instead of writing it many times.
Yeah, that's good. And you mentioned it, right? The topical authority is extremely crucial in today's age, not just for the search engine, but also for your AI-driven search engine, your Gen AI as well, increasing your visibility on those platforms. Yeah, that's one of the topmost factor altogether. Kudos to you and your team working on that front. All right. Now, I would love to know any specific strategies that you have in place when it comes to the post-purchase for your customer, or basically to enhance your customer retention side of things.
Sure. So our SEO guy, he comes to all of our go-to-market meetings. So he stays really up to date on all of the new products that we're launching or features that we're launching. And so I've tasked him, I'm like, you're the website librarian now. So every time something updates, you have to know where to go and update that. Just by being involved, he's a really smart guy. He he starts to see the holes we might have. And it's one of my favorite employees because he'll just think of, hey, I noticed we were missing this and this. So I just went ahead and did it. And I'm just so happy about that. He works really closely with the go-to-market team. And then, like I said, we'll be creating this content as well to link together, well, not link together, but make a single content piece that will fit both like SEO needs and a human reader's needs, so that they can stay up to date.
And coming back to my question, like any specific strategies in general that you have, which is helping you with the retention, customer retention specifically?
So we use a tool. It's like an ABM tool, and what it can do is we'll feed it account lists or integrate it with Salesforce, and then we can see what these people are searching for online. So if they're searching for competitors, we have little alerts going to our account retention team saying, hey, this person's searching for a competitor. It might be a good time to see why they're unsatisfied and looking for competitors right now. So that's one of my favorite things that we do. There's a million tools that'll do that for you. They're all paid, but I think one of the cheaper ones is Lead Feeder will do that. And Zoom Info, everybody uses that at this point, I think, in SaaS. So.
All right. And any specific strategies that you employ to foster collaboration between your multiple departments, marketing, sales, operations, to basically enhance your overall outcome, campaign effectiveness?
Yeah, we have a marketing operations person on our team, and he's been there. I think he was employee number like 5 or 6 at Filevine. I could have that number wrong, but he's been there forever. So he's like basically built the systems and the automations that allow us to scale. So he comes to most meetings about like new launches or anything where we're going to need any tracking or lead routing. He's involved with those. And he's also one of those people who, like, since he knows so much about how everything is built, he'll be the one to say, hey, have you thought about this? How are we going to report on this? Or what are your plans for this? So it's really helpful having his knowledge there. For sales, it's a little bit different. When we have a big initiative, then we'll go to one of their all hands meetings and make a big like presentation about it. And we always try to drive it home with, this is how we're going to help you close faster, because that's their ultimate goal, is close deals faster. And I didn't know that the whole time I was there. So for a lot of my career, I was like, oh, it's sales. You just have to compensate them for everything that they want to do. So if I want them to do something, I'll give them a present. Like, here's a gift card, or here's some AirPods or something like that. And that's fine and dandy. But at some point, you run out of innovative presents to give. So really illustrating that value and making sure you only rope them in on things that are going to help them close faster is going to get you the results that you want. If you're just giving busy work that's not going to help people close faster, they're not going to be interested.
Makes sense. Right. Are there any new initiative that you have in mind you're planning to launch very soon when it comes to your marketing here? And I mean, something that you might be seeing in the legal tech or tech industry in general working brilliantly.
So we've identified a couple of, this is something I've never done in my life, but the pieces all fell together, and this is more of an awareness play. But our audience watches a certain TV show religiously. We've discovered. And it was something I never would have thought of, but we're going to work on some product placement for this TV show.
How did you discover that your audience loves some certain specific shows?
Talking to the customers, talking to a lot of people on our leadership team are our customer profile, and they're swearing by this as well. So
what do they watch? Suits?
Yeah.
Okay.
How did you know?
Predictable. I just because that's something which might resonate, well with your target. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, so I've never really thought of, just because a show is about a certain profession, does that mean that profession is watching it? Like that, who knows? But we've done some research, And it sounds like they are. Try to get our product placement on there. But it sounds like the pilot's been made, so it looks pretty good. So that was just like a really fun little exercise we got to do. We had a brainstorm meeting where we were like, okay, what are, aside from showing people using the product, because that's like a stretch, but we're gonna try. Aside from that, how could we put other kind of like Filevine pieces of swag on this show? And so we had this brainstorm meeting and came up with a list of 300 things that could possibly be used. And then we had we narrowed that down to about 150 after a second pass. But in my brainstorms, I say any idea is good. We don't do any whittling down of the ideas in brainstorms. You just create ideas. You can whittle down later in a different meeting. So we whittled that down to 150. And the creative team just went nuts putting our logos on all these little things in a catalog. And we sent it over, and the people were so pleased at the breadth that we had done. And it didn't take long for our creative team to just stamp logos on things. So it was like a low lift. There's definitely monetary involvement there. There's an investment, but we're really excited about it because I don't think anyone's doing that. So.
Right. And please, I mean, once you run that test on, just showcasing your product console, let's do another round of this thing, and I would love to hear about the outcome that you achieved. I think that's gonna be interesting to watch.
I think it will be. We're hoping it'll function a little bit more on the customer. It depends on what we actually get the producers to approve. So if it's product placement in terms of showing how the product works, Match.com did this with the original series of suits, then I think we could probably get a lead lift. If it's just showing our swag, I think it'll be more of a customer affinity play and keeping our customers happy and proud that they're using Filevine because, like, hey, it was on TV.
All right, we're coming to an end now, and I would I'd love to have a quick rapid fire with you. Are you ready for that?
Sure.
Okay. What's your last Gen AI prompt?
Oh, okay. So one of my favorite ones that I do all the time is I will take one of our support website pages, so like a customer support article, and I will say, you are an AI trained in writing web pages for the Filevine marketing team. Write me a highly converting web page using this URL explaining why someone would want to use this product. Be sure to include witty headlines, and then I'll give it a little bit more depending on what kind of wit I want. But we like the witty stuff over at Filevine. FAQs and how it works and why you should buy it. That's the prompt.
Nice. All right. What habit holds you back the most?
What habit?
Yeah.
I'm not a morning person.
Yeah.
So I get to the office at 8 a.m. and I'm just like dead for 2 hours, like really trying hard to be productive, but maybe finding myself in more conversations than actual productive work at 8 a.m.
All right. What's the most bizarre marketing tactic you have ever seen work brilliantly?
Oh man. Back when, it may not be bizarre, but it was like amazing.
Uh-huh.
Back when Facebook lookalike audiences first came out, that worked amazing. That only lasted for a couple of months before Facebook targeting got really bad, and now you can't even advertise on Facebook because the targeting is just so bad. You get so much junk. But for a while there, we had a really nice period of time where you could make your lookalike audiences, and I always did value-based lookalike audiences. So I would assign value not based on revenue number, but based on stage they were in the life cycle. And I would make a very disparate scale of value. So I would have 0 all the way up to 100,000. And that, I think, sent really good signals and gave us great leads with a lot of volume until it didn't anymore. But there were a few months there where it was just our bread and butter. Yeah.
Okay. And what subject do you basically find to be most fascinating?
It's not marketing related, but I do love to ski, and I will talk about skiing all day long.
As well, right?
Yeah, I was. Uh-huh.
Oh, you were. Okay. What happened? Why did you stop?
I work at Filevine now, and I don't have time.
All right. Now coming to our very last question. If you could use only one social media, nothing work related, but just one social media for your personal use for the rest of your life, which would it be?
TikTok.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. This was a really fun conversation. Thank you so much for sharing your brilliant experiences, your strategies. I'm sure our audience gonna find it very too useful. And I really appreciate your time here with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.